Hello everyone, my name is Nabil Shami,
And I am Nita Subatisha, and you can call me Tasnim.
and today we have an amazing person. We have an environmentalist and a social conscious young girl, and she was a student from UITM Lindu. And today we will get to know more about her worldview and her philosophy on this world. So Shara, how have you been doing during this MCO?
Hello, I'm Syara. Well, your question is very direct. well, I'm the same as all of you. I'm a student with online classes, and I just went into my first year in degree.
Right.
So it's been a shift, between online lectures, a shifting to from classes like face-to-face classes to online lectures. So I think that's one of the difficulties I'm facing, but I'm coping up as well as everyone. I hope so. So to answer your question, I'm being good. I've been good. How about you?
That's great.
We've
We've been doing the same too.
Yeah.
Me and Tasneem are busy with online.
Trying to survive with
Yeah,
this
we're trying to survive.
MCO thing.
Yes.
Anyway, Shara, I went through the Instagram and I noticed you have a thrift shop.
Yes, I do. I share a thrift shop with my sister, with my twin sister.
It's your sister.
Yes, she is.
So how is it going?
Well, we've been operating since I think beginning of the year, I think. So we've collected like a few pieces of our pre-love, our clothes that are still in good condition that we want to sell off. But the base of the entire pre-love was actually to give back to the community. We wanted to do a charity at first, but we didn't have any sort of business, so we thought of doing a pre-love instead. Like every profit from our sales would be directed to an organization that we think deserves it.
Yeah,
And
that's
I think
good. That's interesting.
that's a very good way for you to start involving in this kind of charity, and what
Yes,
you've
true.
done with that thrift store, and I think it actually gives a huge impact to the society because you actually give back to them, and it's a unique way when people bought your clothing from your thrift store, they can also do charity.
Yes, yes.
So we can jump into our first question. Since when do you become interested and invested in social and environmental issues?
Well, I was actually raised. I think I was like raised in a family who are very into and very invested in social works, especially my mother. She used to subscribe to WWF, so we would receive subscription every month, posted to our houses. So I would always see the pamphlet, and I've been very interested in being in that situation where I'm being brought up to understand and have empathy for the environment. So I've been invested and interested in this arena since I was very young. I think it started when I was 7 years old, I think. Yeah.
All right.
That's so
Okay.
cool.
The second question: who motivates you to use social media as a tool to educate others about our social and environmental issues?
Oh, that's a good question. I think it would be who, right? So the first person I have in mind when you asked me that question was Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh wow.
Actually, yeah. Do you realize? I think many people realize him like he's an actor. Many people recognize him. What I meant to say, but looking through his social media account, especially on Instagram, he dedicates his whole page, his whole platform to actually advocate and educate people about the environment, about humanitarian, and I love the way that he chooses to do that without having any organizations attached to him. So yeah, I would say it's Leonardo DiCaprio. You should check him out on Instagram.
Yeah, sure.
That's a very good information to know about him because I actually I didn't follow him on social media, so I didn't know what he's up to right now. But it's good that celebrities like him are using platform for good causes.
Yeah.
And, just to relate with our third question, so does the people around you or does your family have something to do with your love to humanitarianism or environmental issues?
Yes, definitely they do. My family and my friends. I think my friends in my school too. I was in Interact Club. Interact Club is a social club. So we really dedicate our vision and mission to serve the community. Our motto is actually service above self. So we put others before us. So that's a good way to begin, being so young, being in Form 1, Form 3 till Form 5, you're actually exposed to that community. And I think definitely my friends and my family impacted me a lot in being a humanitarian and yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Like you have your beloved ones supports, you know. Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. Okay, so have you ever participated in a mission or volunteered to help others? And what was your impression of the experience like?
Yes, I've participated in countless social charity. I think one of the biggest social charity work that I've ever done is going to Perak, to this perkampungan orang asli. When we mention situations like orang asli, we often think that they are very secluded in an area where they don't have access to stuff. And when we actually go there, like my experience going there, what we are being told, it's true. And it's very, in a way, it's very saddening to know that, it's the harsh truth. And at the same time, it's unbelievable that they have to go through something that is so, they don't have access to basic needs. So
Yeah.
I think in a way that that experience exposed me to a way that we still do have people here in Malaysia. We don't need to look far and overseas. We have people here that needs help and needs the support, and we just need someone to hear them out.
Is it like including food and drinks?
Yes, we actually donated food, basic supplies like rice, sugar, salt, and a few more things that they need in their daily necessities. And also for the children, we had clothes for them. We did a donation drive for them, and also a few toys for the kids. Those little
Yeah.
things in life where we think that people like that would appreciate the most.
Yeah, true.
That's so amazing because this is like my first time hearing about it. So I'm like totally
Mhm.
in awe with what you did to the indigenous people of this country. It's very important for us to give them a platform to speak to because they have a voice and
Yes,
we are the original people of our country. And I do think that
definitely. Yes.
right. And I do think that someone really need to do that. And I
Mhm.
am so glad that you did that.
Yeah.
By doing all of this
Thank you.
volunteerism, what do you find rewarding about this volunteerism and using your social media as one of the tools to advocate what you believe in?
What I think is rewarding the most is the impact that I give. It doesn't matter that my audiences, not all I do know that I don't have a lot of audiences on my social media, but it doesn't stop me from, educating, advocating people that still are in my social media. You don't need to be, you don't have to have a crowd to say something. And I think what rewards me the most is that we only need one person. If I have one person like you, Abel, or you, Tasnim, that can hear me out, that's enough, because
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
from there that you will be aware of what's happening. And that is something I find most rewarding and happy.
Okay, and do you face any difficulties when using social media to advocate what you believe in?
Yes, I do. I think one of the difficulties would be getting back to my statement where I don't have much audience or people who follows me on social media. I'm very active on Instagram. So we have so Instagram, they have a tool where you can swipe up and insert the link for anything you
Yeah.
wanted to include, and I don't have that, so I have to put in extra work to actually put the link somewhere like in my bio, because we can't do that in our post itself, we can't do that in our story itself. So it's the matter of getting the word out, the link out, the source out. So
Yeah.
that's one of the difficulties that I face using social media.
Right. I actually quite agree with you. Like just like what Lady Gaga said, if 99 people in a room don't believe in you, you just need one
Yes.
to believe in you.
Mhm.
That's exactly what you did. And I think that even though followers are not that important as much as you try to do something to change the world, right? And
Yes.
when you did all of this stuff on the internet, despite of having no getting no help from Instagram, they don't provide features to put links on their posts, things like that. How have your expectations been met from all the sharings and awareness you did on your platform?
Expectations. Can you elaborate on that part?
Meaning, what have you done on your social media platform? How does your expectation to your followers?
I see. I
Yeah.
see. I think one of the feedbacks I got from well, I have followers that are very young. I think half of my followers are still in high school. So one of them actually approached me and told me that they're aware of this movement, of this environment about climate change is because I educate them. And I think that it actually leads my expectation in a way that I didn't know school kids, they don't know about that. All these youngsters, they aren't aware about that. So it really shocks me. And at the same time, I feel honored to be doing so, educating such a younger generation below us to know about this whole situation that's been going on, especially on our climate change.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Okay, so what ways do you think your belief has influenced the way you see the world, yourself, or the things that matters to you?
I think what influenced me the most are people around me. I see compassion. I see compassion in people, the way I see empathy in people. They inspire me, people who have such influence to me, like let's just say David Attenborough. He's a natural historian. He dedicates his entire life to educate people about the environment, about humanitarianism. And I think that I see that in everyone, when you put yourself in a perspective where you learn how to accept, you learn how to empathize on people, I think you would see the world in such a different manner where you yourself feel the compassion towards others,
Yeah. I agree. I am pretty much on board with you on this one. What you give, you get back. If you give love, you will receive love.
Yes, definitely.
Right. So, if can you envision yourself not using social media for a good cause, or maybe not even joining charity events, this environmental issues, things like this?
Honestly, no. I can't imagine myself not having I don't know where would I be without all of those. Some people say social media is such a, it's such a bad influence. And I think that it's how you use it, You can choose to filter, all those negativity and choose and focus on the bright side. Use your platform, use your source, get the information you want to read only and filter those out. And I don't think I'd be anywhere right now if I don't have social media, because that is my one and only platform to actually say something, get the word out there for people to know that there's so much things to be done in the world.
Very true.
I totally agree. Like how we use our social media really like reflects ourselves.
Yes. And you can choose what to share. It's not just your life is not just based on that. So what you see is not entirely what it is. So
true. Okay. So in aspect of humanitarian work, do you have anyone in particular that you look up to?
I think it would be Leonardo Dicaprio. 100%. It's him, definitely him. How he is very inspirational in a way that not only his career is such an amazing achievement for himself and the world to look upon, but also what he's doing right now behind the scenes after his retirement from the big Hollywood star persona. He's also a very great influence and a very great humanitarian and an environmentalist. So I look up to him very much.
Because he know that he have a lot of supporters, so he used his ability to change people mindsets.
Yes.
I love that. This is new information for me about Leonardo DiCaprio, so that's very interesting. And moving on to the next question, since climate change is one of the things that I think people should put their primary focus on, do you think that there are any other ways for us to convince our youth about climate change?
This has been a very debatable topic. At the same time, it's also very shocking that we still have people who don't entirely believe on the climate changing in a way that it's happening, So I think one way to convince, especially the youngsters or even the older generations, is how it starts from where we are right now. We see people across the world who have suffered so much dread, We see people experiencing such weather that they have to move from one state to another. And we have people who actually change their diet because of this. And I think one of the ways that we can actually convince them is by reading more, studying more, and just opening your views and about the world, because we don't live for us, we live for everyone.
Very
And in a way that it's not just about where we are, who we are, it's about the entire global nation as a one human itself. Yes.
We are connected to the
Yeah.
universe.
Yes, that's the word, connected. We are all connected to each other. And if we don't realize that now, we will never realize that ever.
Very true. I agree.
So, as a Malaysian Muslim woman, do you believe that social justice is important? And
Of course. Okay. Of course, I believe social justice is important. One of the things that I'm very certain about is I like the saying, dalam rezeki kita ada rezeki orang.
Oh,
And I think that in a way, every time I feel like giving to other, I know that I'm doing this is because someone is out there needs help. It's a circulation. Whatever goes around comes back around.
yeah,
I might have difficulties later that I don't know that people. I have a guardian angel, inshallah, who protects me. Doa from people. In a way that I believe social justice is a way of giving. It's like charity. So I do believe in that.
wow, that's so powerful. That's so powerful. I'm so infected by this.
yeah,
Oh my.
Yeah. What you said about what you give, you get back. This is a circle of life, and right now we are at the age of we can see there are so many injustice around us, especially here in Malaysia, like currently these past few days. And
Yes.
what is your hope for our youth and our country?
A hope for our youth and for our country. I think I would like to emphasize on our youth first and foremost, because we are the generation, we are the next generation. Without us, there will be no one. So I think it's important for the youth to be aware of what's happening and to be compassionate. That's what's important, to have the heart to believe that everything we do now, it will impact us later in the future. So my hope for them, for the youth especially, is to be more compassionate, to be more aware of what's happening, and to be more understanding towards each other, because we live in such a diverse country where we need to empathize on each other.
Yeah.
And for the country, right?
Yeah.
For the country, I hope that we have corporations, we have leaders that are such in a high position that they are able to do anything and conduct anything, and I hope that they hear us out, especially on the youngsters. So my hope for them is to actually take our voice into the next stage of actually talk about what's happening right now to lawful and to formal cabinets.
Very true.
So we could actually get the word out there for them.
Yeah.
yeah. So last, do you think it is important as a citizen to have an attitude of service? Why and why not?
I would say yes, it's important for a citizen. Definitely yes. And the reason why is that because we need each other. We can't live on our own. We live in a century where we are expected to have each other, and without having that basic community and society, we will be nowhere. We don't have demand, we don't have supply. So it's very important for us to lean on each other, not just living by yourself, but also looking around and seeing others around you, and help around as much as you can.
I think that's a wrap for today, and thank you to Syara, because not only we have learned a lot of new things tonight, we also
she also like open my eyes and open my mind, my heart.
Alhamdulillah,
really,
that's
touched my heart.
And I hope that this video can also be an education medium for other students. And what you have done to our society, Syara, even though you're not as famous as Ustaz Abidu maybe, but and maybe you will be the version of him. And
inshallah,
since social and environmental issues have been part in your life for so long, I think we can see that it's in you that we need to do it for ourselves. So we need to be inspired by you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. That really touched my heart in a way that I feel very warm from your words, especially Abil and Tasnim. You have been giving me questions that actually really sort out my view, what I'm really here for. And I'm thankful that I'm so honored to be here with the both of you right now.
Well,
Thank
we
you.
are
Thank you so
happy,
much.
and we are happy to have you here because you helped us so much. And we hope that you will achieve success in the future. And we wish you all the best.
Thank you so much. Inshallah, Amin. The same to you both. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shara.